I miss Gundam Evolution. I remember waiting for the release and being rather excited because I had recently gotten more into Gundam. I remember looking at the Steam page with my friends because we had recently started talking more about Gundam and wanting to play a Gundam game together. We looked at the Steam page and it just so happened that the network test was looking for participants and we all signed up and we all got it. And I have to say that was probably the most fun I've had in a game in a long time. Going through the network test with my friends, where we're all just sitting there shooting at other dudes, I think that was the best time to play, because no one was overly competitive yet, and everyone was just trying new stuff. I remember trying some of the characters, but I didn't try them all, but I feel like it's just easier to explain them all. So, Pale Rider is John Call of Duty with a bullpup rifle and a grenade, as well as having a little healing thing that he can throw out to do a little AoE of healing. RX-78-2 is a mid-range unit with a throwable stun and a pretty good area control for his ult. Range Zaku 2 is a hit-and-run type character with an invincibility button, where you can just go in there, shoot some dudes, pop your smoke grenade, and then just get out. Sazabi falls into the dive tank role, where you can throw the axe and dive towards it, but he also had a temporary walls button, so you could just scan your opponents, and if they ran from you, you could see them through the walls for a little bit, as well as sharing that with your team. Being the dedicated healer, Methus deals damage while healing, as well as throwing at a turret, which did some pretty good damage in the early kind of lifespan of the game. GM Sniper 2 is, big surprise, a sniper. Ashamar is a flanker that has a transformable ability which would let him fly up, and from that height you could throw down a flame grenade, which was pretty strong fairly consistently, as well as having a 3-round burst for his gun. Dom Trooper is a support tank that can place mines to kind of know where enemies are coming from, give shield to allies, and do pretty decent damage, honestly. Turn A Gundam is a mid to long range fighter who has a self-heal and a judo throw if someone gets too close. Gun Tank is a large unit that has auto-aim, with the trade-off of not being able to get headshots with that auto-aim. GM gets a shield bash, a fire C4, and a healing grenade, and that healing grenade did come in pretty useful a couple times, honestly. Exia is a close to mid-range fighter with a lot of movement through dodges, a dash ability, and a dash melee attack. Marasai is a mid-range fighter with a grapple into melee ability. Each character had their own stuff, and I thought it was pretty cool, but honestly I didn't have a whole lot of fun with them. Until I played Barbados. The second I played him, everything just kind of clicked in the game. Genuinely, I loved every second of playing Barbados, even if he was, like, grossly strong. And I do mean gross. If you did the right combo, which would be your right click into the sword slam, I think that was like 1,000 damage, and that could take care of, like, half the roster instantly. But then if it's, like, a bigger unit, like Dom, Gun Tank, Sazabi, you would just do your first slam, right, which was a stun, and then you do the sword, which was another stun, into your, like, normal attack. And I always liked the idea of just being able to just jump in with his jump ability, right? And you'd just do a slam, and then you do another slam, and then you'd, like, do this little, like, pissy hit, and then just jump back out of there. I always thought that was, like, the most fun to do in the game, if I'm gonna be honest. It was always really funny, because, Sammy, one of my friends that I played the game with, Pale Rider main, all the way, pink Pale Rider, he actually would lose his shit every time he saw Barbados.
Guys, I see Barbados!
Because I actually wanted to do stuff.
He's coming for me! Ah!
I hope you know it's gonna alter.
Ooh, there's a Barbados! Ah! Anywhere. I killed him! I fucking hate Barbados! Fuck you!
I'm becoming Gundam.
Uh-oh.
Fuck all of you, in fact! Fuck all like this
Guys,
game.
the regular gun.
God, just something about that character being so fucking brain dead, honestly, just clicked right with me. Like, honestly, it's literally button 1, button 2, button 3, leave. Just something about that was always so much fun. And he had a pretty decent health pool, honestly. 1,000 health in the beta, that was pretty good. I don't know, just something about being able to do this combo where you can do that first stun and then the second stun. That's 2 stuns, it's ridiculous. Stun lasts for so long in Gundam Evolution. But just something about having that much, like, shit on people energy. But just something about those 2 stuns really just made me fall in love with the game and playing the game, and even Barbatos itself. Gundam Evolution is probably the reason why I see Barbatos as one of my favorite mobile suits of all time. I remember maxing out the battle pass in the network test to get Char's Zaku 2. Even though I didn't play Zaku 2, I just thought it'd be really funny if I had it, like just in case it got carried over to the to like the normal release of the game. It didn't, unfortunately, but I thought it was really just funny to have it for like the last hour that the network test was available. But I do have the RX-78 skin, where it's like the adorned in the network test stuff. I really like having that. I think it's just a fun thing that not a lot of people had, because you had to max out the battle pass and then fill out the survey. After the network test, I religiously read the dev blogs when they came out. Favorite devlog was devlog 3, where they talked about how Turn A and Marsai weren't being the counters for Barbatos that they were intended to be. And they mentioned that they were going to try and fix a little bit more of the interactions that Barbatos could have. And eventually what they did is they just made a couple of the moves stun immune, like Turn A's Judo Grab, GM's Shield Bash. I'm pretty sure they made Dom's ult stun immune as well, I think. It was a couple of months before we got the release date for the game, September 21st, 2022. Season 1 launched with a game focusing on Unicorn Gundam, who had an AoE heal that kind of instantly counteracted Barbatos, because if you were in that heal AoE, you would get healed just enough to not die in that 3-button combo. But if you were just that much out of range of Unicorn, you were still dead. So it kind of encouraged a little bit more team play. And along with Unicorn, we got Melee Zaku 2, who was really good at launch. Like, there were a couple of times where there was 3 melee gameplay. As well as Mahiru, who had a grenade launcher and a little beam that he could shoot out that kind of made a stun AoE. Granted, he wasn't bad, but I liked playing him. I thought he was a goofy little guy. I had a lot of fun playing him personally. Season 2 gave us new Gundam, who had funnels and a kind of like backflip evasive maneuver that had a projectile. The game still felt pretty fun at this point, honestly. Season 3 Defensor gave us Hyperion Gundam, who could have a shield AoE around him that could protect him and his teammates, which is kind of meant to like res your teammate or plant a bomb on objective, as well as having pretty decent damage output generally. Now the second part of Season 3, where they introduced Heavy Arms, was really fun, in my opinion, because Heavy Arms could sit there just stationary as a fucking turret, and then he could like backflip, and while backflipping he could like launch his ult, which was a bunch of missiles where he could still like shoot at you. He had fire missiles. I think that Season 3 after Heavy Arms was added was probably the second best point of the game that had happened in general. But then Season 4 came out, and that brought us Dynamez, which personally is, I want to say, my favorite Gundam. But just something about Season 4 and just Season 4 in general just felt stale and not fun to play at all. If I'm gonna be honest, it just didn't feel fun. I just stopped playing halfway through that season. I didn't play seasons 5 or 6. I knew they came out. Season 7 just didn't exist for me. I was just out of the game by that point. It wasn't until a week before the server shut down that I actually looked at the game again. As a joke, I was in VC with my friend Shark, and I was like, "Hey Shark, we should play Evolution." And he's like, "Okay," and we played. And I have to say, that was probably the most fun I've had in a game in ages. Like, genuinely speaking. Just something about playing Gundam right before the servers closed down, just something about it was magical again. And if I'm gonna be honest, I know I'm gonna miss Gundam Evolution when the servers shut down, and I just wanted to appreciate this game one more time. And I know there was a lot of mistakes, and I know the dev team didn't treat the game as they should have, but I'm still glad that I got to experience this game, that I still got to have fun playing a stupid game with my friends, and just generally having a good time with it. Thank you.